Welcome in to Kicking It with the Wolverines. I'm Alyssa Orange. He is Kerry Castillo. We hope you had a great spring break. I know we had a lot of fun bouncing around, having a great spring break. Your team had a lot of success also over that week. So we've got a lot of soccer to talk about. All of that being said, we got to bounce all the way back, though, to what happened 2 Thursday nights ago against Bentonville. So, Coach, let's start there as we break down kind of what's happening and where you guys are right now in the conference. I know that Bentonville game was huge. It was a 2-2 tie, but your team not only learned a lot about themselves, but you can't speak enough about how much they fought that entire game.
Yeah, we just created so many really good chances to score, go straight out of the gate. I mean, as soon as the game started, we were just playing with a confidence that I hadn't seen them play with, and they've continued to do that since that game. It was really a catalyst for us. Yeah.
What were some things that stood out? We've talked about they got up 2-0. You guys are able to tie the game.
Yeah.
You'll take a tie, you'll take a win over a loss any day.
Sure.
But to be able to battle the way that they did and to not hang our heads when they're down to nothing.
That's huge. And it's like those instances where you're like praying for patience. You don't just get patience. You get opportunities to be patient. And so, when you talk about, boy, my team needs to be a little more mentally tough or a little more focused. Well, we got opportunities to practice overcoming adversity that day. And it was great to see them do that, not just so they could overcome that deficit, but because of the way they did it. They stayed true to the way we play and stayed true to their confidence in themselves and one another and just kept going after them instead of, it'd be so easy, right? To go, oh, well, we're down 2-0, there's 10 minutes left. But they just kept playing and chipping away, and the chances we needed came.
Yeah, and it didn't reflect, obviously, in the final score, but on the stat sheet, the shots on goal, the opportunities that you guys had continue to kind of keep that confidence.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we were playing so creative and trying to create chances in so many different ways, so many different aspects that we created opportunities to score. And that was what we were, as a coaching staff, we were most pleased in, is how diverse our attacking was. Yeah.
Right now, the team's been able to string some wins together. And so you had beaten Harbor earlier that week, and then you tie with Bentonville, and then you get that win over Harrison. And spring break week, you don't have a full team with you.
Right.
What was it like for this team to get that win over Harrison, and then, another win later on in the week when you're not full strength?
It was great, honestly, and it was a great opportunity for us too. We called some junior varsity girls up and gave them some time, but we also gave a lot of time to girls that are on our varsity team that might not get as much time during the conference season, and we're able to really see them do some things that, one, we weren't sure they were capable of, and to contribute in some big ways, or get some good opponents. We played in Harrison and then Springfield Catholic, out of Springfield, Missouri, and so the things we played were good, and because we didn't have our full starting lineup per se, some girls really had to step into some difficult roles at the drop of a hat, and we saw some great things. It actually showed us some things that some of our younger players could do, and that came in handy last night against Springdale. We were tied 1-1, and a freshman, Michelle Polaka, I had to talk about her because she just did great in the Harrison tournament. And so with about 6 minutes left, maybe more, maybe a little bit less than 10, I brought her into the game. And within 2 minutes, she created the chance that we needed to score. And Addy Sharp, who we're going to hear from later, buried the shot and put us up 2-1.
Sure.
Yeah.
How exciting is it as a coach to see these young girls embrace these opportunities? And you talk about Addy. She's going to join us a little bit later and get to know her a little bit more. She has had a phenomenal last couple of years. Yes. But to be able to see these young players embrace these opportunities and play almost, without fear. I mean, it's nerve-wracking, the difference between being a freshman and a senior on a soccer field, or really in any sport. That's got to be really cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to see them. They step on the field and you can see there's a little tightness and maybe some hesitation, but the girls in the field and the girls on the sideline are just so encouraging and building them up as they go out on the field. And so you can almost see the moments where they do like one thing, they make a tackle or they make a pass and they become lighter, physically, and you can tell they've found their way into the game. And then they did do things like Michelle did last night. We asked her to take a free kick rather than one of our seniors. And I mean, she placed it directly over Springdale's backline for Michaela to run onto. And so everybody thinks Michaela's scoring. They all run to Michaela, and Michaela gives it right back to Addy Sharp.
Yeah.
You know, and so that free kick, though, I mean, you're asking a 14-year-old, hey, why don't you come in and help us win the game? That's going to be so tough. But seeing her step to the ball and say, hey, Michelle, you take the free kick, seeing her grab the ball, place it, and so confidently step into that situation, it's so fun.
Yeah. How big is that just down the line here in this almost like second half towards the end as you guys get ready for the postseason to have that kind of depth to rely on?
Well, that's the perfect word right there is depth. You know, we can look down the sideline and go, hey, I know I can stick this 14-year-old in a big game, and she's going to come up big.
Sure.
You know, and we're going to be able to rely, not to go, boy, I hope she gets it done. No, I know she will get the job done.
Putting these pieces together, I want to jump back almost to the summer because nothing you guys did in the summer has not impacted this season, right? So all of the, you know, you had the National Guard come in and put them through some things and all the work you guys did, you know, from a mental prep standpoint. But now I really think you're seeing that stuff pay off because of the way these girls are interacting with each other, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors together in moments like that.
Yeah, I could not have stated that better. You have to go back and point to those things when you're down 2-0 against a BHS. We've already practiced that. We've already practiced, like you said, with the National Guard coming in. It's not just then, but that's, you know, we can look at that moment and go, hey, you've already overcome so much. This is no big deal. And they know that when we say that.
Sucker's the easy part.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I could, you know, when I can't even walk, no, I can actually still run because my teammates need me to.
Yeah.
You know, and so, yeah, they've already done those hard things. And when they begin to battle doubt now, we can point to all the times that we've discussed that and how they're going to overcome that together, you know. And so they've done it. They've done that. They're a stranger to it. And they can just revert back to what they've already learned about themselves, about each other, and go on, right? And do that confidently and full of assuredness that their teammates have it back. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the future is obviously bright in the coming years with girls like Addy, with girls like Michaela, who are just freshmen and sophomores. You mentioned Michaela. Can we talk about the crazy goal that she had against Springdale? I mean, we're going to show this clip here because it's jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
How she's able to weave through the defense the way that she did so effortlessly.
Yeah. So maybe 2 minutes prior, maybe even less than that, Addy puts us up 2-1. And so I totally shifted our formation. Like, let's just get out of this game with this win by 1 goal, right?
Yeah.
And so Michaela picks the ball up, and she was at the top of the halfway line by herself with 6 defenders and dribbles all. Yeah, she picked the ball up, cut in, like you said, weave through 5 people, and then goes to take on the goalkeeper who dives for her. She hits it by her, outruns the goalkeeper around her, and then shoots it into the goal. You don't see things like that happen.
That's video game stuff.
And it is. It's a great way to put that.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put that. But, you know, when you say she's just a sophomore, we see her do those kinds of things all the time in training. And so now that she's expressing that in a game, but you have to look forward to what's going to happen the rest of the season. What's going to happen her junior, senior year. What more is she going to be capable of? It's really exciting. Yeah. It's well for me because she's on my team.
Right, for sure. Nobody else. All those opposing coaches are like, can you graduate when? Yeah. You know? And you're just like, come on, how do we get her more eligibility? Keep her around.
There's got to be a register here, right?
Right, no, right. You're going to make one by the time she's a senior. Find a way to keep her on campus just a little bit longer. But no, her future is so bright. That was what her 5th goal of the season.
Yeah, and assists.
And I was about to say, she also shares the ball so well too. And she's her field vision to be able to see her teammates, like you mentioned with Addy, for example, in that Springdale game. Well,
and that's becoming the norm. It seems like that's the pattern that's going on right now. Michaela scores a goal and assists Addy. And, they did that against BHS.
Yeah.
And Michaela scored one where she weaved through some people and hit an absolute laser of a goal. And then she assisted Addy's first high school goal and the one that tied us. And so same thing last night. Yeah, she is. I think she knows now that when I give the ball, these people are going to do good things with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big trust thing, and it's what you want to have as you guys head down the stretch. What's next for you guys coming up this week?
Big game.
Yeah.
Home against Fayetteville. Yeah. So we're in third right now in the conference. This could catapult us maybe, into second, hopefully.
Yeah. Let's break that down a little bit because we talked about the rankings. Obviously, a conference championship is what we're after right now before the postseason starts, and the goal is a state title. What has to kind of fall into place with the rest of the season?
It's funny, the term fall into place, there couldn't be a better term because the conference that we're in is so well balanced from top to bottom that every team is competitive. And so you do need some things to fall into place. You need to take care of your business and get good results. But then we could use a little help, from some other teams in the conference to beat some teams that are ahead of us. And so, but I have nothing but faith that in our girls that we're gonna do exactly what we need to do, and whatever else needs to happen, it's gonna happen as long as we take care of. And this is what we've been trying to get across to our kids the last week and a half: is it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It doesn't matter, what we're ranked right now. All that matters is what you guys build within each other and within yourself. And if we do those things, if we'll do that first and then go out and play how we can play, things will take care of themselves.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And of course, one more meeting with Bentonville.
And their place,
at Bentonville.
Looking forward to it.
Which, of course, I know everybody is. I'm sure, especially after Thursday's 2-2 tie. A lot of motivation again to face those crosstown rivals, but a lot of games in between. So you can always just focus, and we know that. Right? We've talked about that too, but always just something exciting on the horizon to talk about. Speaking of talking about, you mentioned Addy. She got to join us on the episode, so we're going to take a quick break. She's going to join us right after this. Welcome back to Kicking It with the Wolverines, and we are excited to have freshman Addy Sharp join us. First up, I love your nails. Those are beautiful. Well done. I love those. I need to get mine done. Secondly, it's been a big couple weeks for you. So we're going to talk about how you've been able to really kind of step into your own as a freshman on this team. But let's start from the beginning. When did you start playing soccer?
Okay, I started at 5, playing rec. But at 10 is when I started playing travel. So yeah, and then so 11, I would say, is when I actually started traveling to different states and actually playing competitive soccer.
A lot of kids start soccer. It's like an introductory sport for a lot of younger kids. What was it about the sport that you really fell in love with and wanted to continue to play?
Probably making new friends and seeing all my friends at soccer was really fun. And then once we did start traveling, probably the traveling and playing good competition, because when you would play local, the competition isn't great, but when you start to travel different places, you get to experience a bunch of different different teams and different environments of where how they play. So,
and traveling too is a lot of fun because you get to go see a lot of new places. Was there ever a place that you remember being your favorite when you traveled?
I really liked South Carolina. I really liked that because they had pretty good shopping, and we just hung out at the hotels. I do remember just swimming and stuff, and that was always.
Were you by the beach?
I was.
Okay, as I say, I'm an East Coast girl, so I love my East Coast beaches, and South Carolina is beautiful. Yeah, Hilton Head, Myrtle Beach area. It was great. Really, really pretty. And traveling's a lot of fun too. It gets to show you places that you might not be able to go to otherwise. So that's a lot of fun. When you realize that hey, soccer's something I really want to dedicate to, and now as a freshman here, what did you really focus on in your game to continue to improve?
Probably my attitude. My attitude used to be really bad, but my mom would always tell me how coaches really do look at that, and attitude is really important. So I worked on that, and probably just
Well, let's dive into that a little bit because I think that's such an interesting and mature response. As in like body language, attitude, or were you just so competitive that you almost let it kind of get the best of you?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Both. Yeah. I think I blame my team. Like when I was younger, I blame my team for a lot of stuff, and I was very like competitive to where if like a goal happened and it was someone else's fault, I would get really mad. But yeah, I think my mom would tell me how I needed to like take responsibility, and that I kind of did that, and yeah.
So how do you do that? Because it's a lot easier said than done. Be like,
Yeah.
oh, you kind of need to look at yourself in the mirror, but
Yeah.
to be able to actually do that,
Yeah.
where did you find success there?
I thought like it can't just be one person's fault that a goal happened. Like it was the whole team and including me. So like I can't just say like it was my team's fault and not mine because I was on the field and I could have done stuff to prevent it. So yeah,
How did you change that with your attitude? How do you see a difference in the way you play now?
I think being positive to your teammates really brings them up
Yeah.
and makes them more confident in what they do. So if they make a mistake, they don't like just get down on themselves and like don't fake it the rest of the game. So I feel like being positive really helps your rest of the team and like out everyone.
And how's it helped you? Because you still want to be competitive. Like you still want to go out there and have an edge. It's soccer. You guys are filthy out there. I'd be terrified. But you still got to have that. But you also still, like you said, you want to try to kind of maintain that level of grace on the field too.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I don't know, like being positive, I guess. Like
Sure.
our team, like Wes, is very positive, and that's what I really love about it. Is everyone is really nice to each other and uplifting, and our midfield, like Hadley Moore, she's super positive, and she's one of the people that talks the most to me and like says like positive things, like if I make a mistake or whatever. And yeah, I feel like she's really good at noticing that and like keeping everyone.
Hey, positivity is contagious. That's what they say, and it's absolutely true. What have you learned, do you think, the most about yourself and your game as a freshman on the varsity team this year?
Learn about myself. I'd say
Or just what's it been like?
um it's been great. This like I came in late from basketball and I thought it was going to be hard coming in because everyone was already playing and I'm a freshman, so I haven't really seen the team and he was on the team, so it was kind of hard. But then once I got in like soccer, it was so easy and all the girls were really nice, and I think every game that I play more with our team, I get more comfortable and we all like play better together.
Yeah.
For every game.
Well, getting comfortable is maybe an understatement. You've had 4 goals in 4 games since you've been back. What's it like, being out there and being free and having the confidence in your teammates as a freshman to be able to go out there and score goals?
It's amazing because I really do trust all my teammates with the ball, and like Michaela, she sends me so many good balls, and I feel like me and her really do work really good together, and I feel like it's really nice having teammates that I have chemistry with, and we barely played together.
Do you remember the first goal? What was that feeling like?
It was great. It was actually really great because it was against BHS too.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really good, and it was a good ball from Michaela, but it was nice because it was my first goal as a freshman, so it kind of like gave me more confidence because I don't know, it was like my first goal, so
Yeah. And hey, that was just, 2 weeks ago and here we are with 3 more. So
yeah.
it clearly did something,
Yeah.
something good. So that's been fun. Talking about that game against Bentonville and maybe even just the last couple of wins too as well. How big was that Bentonville game for this team?
It was really big. Yeah, it was a really big game, but I think we did really well. We had so many opportunities as well. It's just like our finishing, but we're always working on that, so it's definitely getting better. But just to know that we are getting those opportunities as a team and our passing is looking really good, it's just great to see that we're getting better every game.
Yeah, and as you talk about getting better every game, that confidence continues to build as the kind of second half of this season kind of gets going. Obviously, a conference championship is what you guys would love. What is it going to take for you guys to accomplish that goal?
Positivity
Yeah.
and definitely like our passing. Our passing is really good right now. And if we keep doing that and staying positive, I think that we can definitely say
And more goals from Addy probably works too. Yeah, that'll help with more goals from Addy. That would be great. All right, so it is that time for trivia. Having watched your teammates, you said
a couple.
you've been studying? Kind of. Okay, great. You know what? That's okay. And I also think that we've kind of been a little bit more graceful with these questions. And so I think I've set you up for success here.
Okay.
Kind of. I mean, I'm not going easy, but it's not as hard as what Michaela got. That poor girl went first, but she's okay. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Also too, you have one opportunity to say, can we go back to that one? So if there is one that you want to think about a little bit more, you can say, can we go back to it?
Okay.
Okay. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the first World Cup year? What was the first year they played the World Cup?
1885.
That was close. 1930. That was a long time ago. That was almost 100 years ago. Actually, when you put that, when you say that out loud. Okay. Who is the all-time top goal scorer in men's international soccer?
Ronaldo.
Yep. Girlfriend. Yes, he is. There you go. You got one. Okay. What happens when the defense kicks the ball beyond their goal?
Can you go back?
Yep. Think about that one. Okay. What popular Apple TV show is about an American who coaches a football team in England?
Wait, I think I know this one, but I just saw. Wait.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay. Ted Lasso. You guys got to watch Ted Lasso as like a team. It's so great. It's like such a feel-good show. It's wonderful. Okay. Of the 11 cities or regions hosting the World Cup 2026 in the U.S. coming up, what is the closest to Bentonville West High School? Of all the host cities and regions around the United States that are going to host part of the World Cup in 2026, which one is the closest to Bentonville West High School?
Can you repeat that?
Mm-hmm. Okay. There are 11 cities that are going to host games during the World Cup in 2026. Okay. Which one of those 11 cities is the closest to Bentonville West High School?
Chicago.
No. Kansas City.
Oh,
Kansas
oh
City
my
is
God.
going to host some games. Dallas is down there too, but Dallas is a little bit further. Kansas City just 3 hours away from you guys. So, all right, we're circling back to this one. Ready? You got one.
Okay.
Okay. What happens when the defense kicks the ball beyond their goal during a game? It might sound a lot more complicated than probably what you're thinking. So the ball goes out of bounds beyond, and the defense kicks it beyond their goal. What happens?
Corner.
There you go. You got two. All right. Good job. Welcome back. Coach getting to know Addy a little bit there. Trivia is always fun. And I told him to, because when we're filming this, by the way, just completely to, let you guys in on what we do. Coach sits in the corner and he knows all of the answers to all the trivia questions that we have given these girls already this season. And so I think at the last one, we're going to test you.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to come with
This
like
may be hard, I'm sure.
Jeopardy
Yeah,
level
right.
questions for you, like soccer for 1,000 questions for you.
Could it be more like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Where I get all
Friends, like
Phone friends,
Yeah.
sure, deal or no deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you are the weakest net. Goodbye. Just kidding. Too many game show references out there at the moment. But she was a lot of fun to get to know. And one answer that really surprised me was when I said about growth of her game. I expected it to be dribbling or field vision or, those things. And she said her attitude, to be competitive, and you got to have an edge. You got to almost play with a chip in soccer. Right. But attitude is huge for a freshman to be so aware, and obviously great parents to kind of help her say it. How does she balance that on the fields that you've seen so far?
Well, I have to what you just said, I have to go back and point to that. I've known Addy and her little sisters and her parents for a couple of years now. I started kind of following them once I came to West and found out who were the kids that were coming up that I would eventually have on the team. And so I've been able to see her game grow and steadily see her become a better and better player. And to hear her say that, like how aware she is of that, it does my heart so much good. You love to hear your players acknowledge where they need to grow as a person.
Yeah.
That's something that I think that's our purpose in this program, is to help them grow in that way first and foremost. And so to hear her say and acknowledge that is what she is seeking to, or how she's seeking to better herself first, love to hear that. So how does she balance that on the field? She is tenacious. Oh, she absolutely is. She referenced how when her team gets scored on, she had a part to play in that where she should have done something more. And that's how she attacks the game. When the other team has the ball, she is all over them like they took her watch from. I mean, she just goes after people defensively. And you love to see that, especially from a young player. It'd be so easy to go, well, this junior behind me, can pick up slack. But no, her. So the way she balances that is every second she has on the field, she makes it count. Yeah.
Yeah. How fun has it been to see her blossom? At least she has that, again, as a freshman. The young talent you have is so exciting, not taking anything away from the juniors and seniors who lead this team.
Yeah, for sure. But she's a special player. She is developed into a natural goal scorer. And it's almost like, you hear the term ice in your veins, but that's when she's on the field, she's so stoic. Like even though she's battling, and she gave away a few free kicks last night just because she battles so hard, which no problem with that whatsoever. And then when she gets the ball, good luck, because she's fast, physical, strong. And we knew that, like coming in, we knew that she had those facets to her game, but we didn't know how she would express them being a freshman. But she plays so full of confidence. Yeah.
It's fun to get to know her. It is now time for our favorite part of the episode, which is our feel-good moment of the week. And now technically, really 2 weeks since it was spring break. So I'm sure you've got a lot to choose from. So what do you have for us?
There are so many things. There were so many freshmen in the last week and young players and kids that we called up that did so many good things. I mentioned Michelle Polanco a few seconds ago, but I have to point to, it might make me emotional. I have to point to the BHS game. We're down 1-0 at halftime. And we've been talking to our girls like, hey, what the other team does doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the score is, etc. And to just be patient with the process, of getting better individually and as a team, etc. And so halftime comes and they're not down at all. They're very excited still. And I look down the bench and there's a young lady that graduated 2 years ago sitting on the bench with us. I hadn't noticed her come to the sideline. And so I gave her a hug and she pulled me aside from the team. But she said, hey, I want to show you something. And I said, okay. I had no idea what she was talking about. But she had her junior year playing for us here at West. She tore her ACL. She had worked so very hard to earn a starting role and was just doing amazing. We were talking about college scholarship possibilities, and they tore her ACL and really struggled with that process to get back. And then she still had a lot of pain her senior year that really hindered her being able to play because she was just such a dynamic and aggressive player. That really hindered that, but it never hindered her spirit. And so she asked me if I remember a quote that I gave her in the hospital when I saw her the day she had surgery as her junior. And I handed her a little Post-it note with a quote on it. And the quote is, "Be patient and tough. This pain will someday be useful to you." And it's an Ovid quote. And she kept that and shared with me that that is one of the things that got her through her recovery. And that after she graduated, she really struggled with a lot of mental health issues. Just, that's typical of athletes. You lose part of your identity once the game is gone, and some other things that had happened in her life, and that she just continued to hang on to that, be patient and tough. This pain will someday be useful to you. And she had a tattoo of her arm. And I cried.
Oh,
I cried.
Goosebumps.
I did. I was like crying on the sideline, and she had me, and we told each other we love you, to each other. And, that is what our program is all about. That's what our program is all about, is helping them be ready for what's next, whether that involves a soccer ball or not.
Right.
And I had her, rather than talking to the team at halftime, I had her talk to and to share what she'd been going through, where she started as a player, just like Ben, with that struggle and injury, and how that mindset is what helped her get through. Her faith in that mindset got her through those tough things. And so we go down 2-0, be patient and tough. Pain will someday be useful too. And we found our way back in and managed to get a tie, but the day was so much bigger than a tie.
Right.
The tie was like icing on a cake. Yeah, it's not the real substance, right? The good stuff was what they were filled with.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. What a way to end the episode out of spring break. I love that. But a lot of soccer left to play. Thanks for sharing that story. I really hope it resonates with those that are listening, because it did for me, and I still got goosebumps over here. So thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Kicking It with the Wolverines. So much soccer left to play. Excited to talk about it again next week as well. For Coach Castillo, I'm Alyssa Orange. That's going to do it, and we'll see you next time.